Okay, let's get right into it. Think about the last time you were at a grocery store checkout or paid for parking. These are places we go every day, right? We're on autopilot. And that is exactly what scammers are counting on. We're about to break down how these super normal, everyday spots are being turned into hunting grounds for scams that can and do empty bank accounts in just minutes. And this is where it starts. That single, awful moment of panic when you reach for your wallet and realize something is very, very wrong. This is a real quote from a shopper named Sarah, right after she realized she'd been hit. It's that horrible, gut-wrenching feeling that we're going to help you avoid. And this is why this is so important. We're not talking about losing a $20 bill here. This number, $5,980, is the exact amount a family in California lost. And get this, it happened in just a matter of minutes. The thieves got their card, they had their PIN, and by the time the family even knew it was happening, nearly 6 grand was just gone. So how does this even happen? Well, first, we've got to look at the low-tech playbook. These aren't some super hackers in a dark room somewhere. These are scammers on the ground, using classic distraction and good old-fashioned deception. And the craziest part, they're doing it right in front of us. A perfect example is something called the $20 distraction scam, and it is shockingly simple. It all starts with step 1. Someone's secretly watching you punch in your PIN at the register. That's called shoulder surfing. Then, step 2, the distraction. You're out in the parking lot, and an accomplice comes up and says, "Hey, I think you dropped this 20. For that 1 second, your brain is confused, you're looking at the money, and that's when step 3 happens. Their partner expertly lifts your card right out of your purse or wallet. It's pure sleight of hand, and it's over before you even know a crime took place. And this whole idea of approaching people in parking lots, well, they've got a whole playbook for it. It's not just the $20 trick. Scammers will come up to you with fake fundraisers for a kid's sports team, or they'll hit you with some made-up tragedy asking for money for a funeral. They might even dress up as a fake parking attendant at a concert, or pretend to be a rich tourist who just needs a little gas money. The stories are always different, but the goal is always the same. So who are they going after? Well, Detective James Jackson from the Charleston Police puts it perfectly. They're targeting people they see as vulnerable or just plain distracted. They are specifically looking for moms with a kid in the shopping cart or for elderly folks. Why? Because they know these are people just trying to get through their day, and they might do anything to get a persistent stranger to just leave them alone. They are literally pulling on your heartstrings to get you to drop your guard. So here it is. This is probably the most important thing to remember. The number one giant flashing red flag for all of these low-tech scams, you offer them cash for their sob story, and they say no. They insist you use a debit card or a credit card or a mobile payment app, and you have to ask yourself why. It's because they don't want your $5. They want that thousands of dollars in your account. But listen, these schemes are evolving. It's not just about somebody distracting you in a parking lot anymore. Now criminals are actually twisting the very technology that's supposed to make our lives easier, and they're turning all that convenience into a weapon. I mean, we all love contactless payments, don't we? Tapping your phone or your card is so fast and easy. And in theory, it's super secure. These digital wallets use all this fancy tech like tokenization and encryption to protect your real card number. It's great. But the problem is, criminals have figured out how to exploit our trust in this easy-peasy tech. And here's one of their favorite new methods, QR code scams, also known as quishing. So picture this. You go to pay for parking, you see the QR code on the meter, and you scan it. But what you don't realize is a scammer has slapped a sticker with their own malicious QR code right on top of the real one. As you can see here, the fake code takes you to a website that looks almost exactly like the real thing. But before you type in any info, you have got to check that URL. Is it the official city parking website, or is it something weird like parkpaynow.biz? A funky URL is your first clue you're being scammed. And the tech threat doesn't stop there. They're also using something called smishing, which is basically phishing through text messages. You'll get a text that looks really official, and it's designed to make you panic. It'll claim you have an unpaid parking ticket you have to pay right now, or that there's an issue with a package delivery. And of course, there's always a link. And just like with the fake QR codes, that link goes straight to a scam website built for one thing, to steal your financial info. Okay, so we've looked at the low-tech tricks and the high-tech heists, and I know it can feel like a lot. It can feel pretty overwhelming. But here's the good news. You are not powerless here, not at all. So now we're going to walk through a really simple 5-point plan to help you take back control and keep yourself safe. But first, let's just address the one question that's probably in the back of your mind right now. You might be thinking, okay, this is scary, but if the worst happens, my bank has my back, right? They'll see it was fraud and they'll just refund my money. I wish it were that simple. Unfortunately, it's usually not.
This right here, this is the exact response one victim got from their bank. Just let that sink in. Because the scammers had his PIN number, the bank said the transactions were authorized. Here's the hard truth. Your PIN is basically your financial password. When it's used, the bank sees that as you giving the thumbs up, which makes getting your money back incredibly difficult. This is why being vigilant in yourself isn't just a good idea, it is everything.
So here it is, your 5-point defense plan. First, shield your PIN. Always. Cover that keypad with your other hand. Second, be wary of strangers approaching you with some sob story. It's okay to just walk away. Third, inspect the tech. Feel that QR code. Is it a sticker? Double-check that website address. Fourth, refuse and report. If someone pushing a fundraiser refuses your cash, that's your cue to leave. And finally, number 5, monitor your accounts. Just take a look at your bank statements regularly. These 5 simple habits are your absolute best defense.
You know, following those steps is really how we stay ahead of these crooks. They're always coming up with new schemes, but almost all of them depend on one of 3 things: us being distracted, us being too trusting, or us just being unaware. And that really brings us to the most important point of this entire thing. The technology is going to change, the stories the scammers tell are going to change, but the one thing that will always protect you won't. Your best defense, bar none, is awareness. Just knowing what to look for is more than half the battle. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. In a world that is obsessed with speed and convenience, from tapping to pay to scanning a code, is all that convenience really worth the cost of caution? By just taking a few extra seconds to pay attention, to be aware, you can make sure your money stays right where it belongs, with you.